Hi guys, today is the 25th of July 2019 at 18 minutes past 6 in the evening over here in the UK, and just going to do a very quick video on the 27th, possibly of July, but I've also got an interpretation for September and I'll explain that in just a few seconds. So the video gets started and we'll just stop it here. We've got the iPad Go 2 title, and as I've pointed out before, when you flip that upside down, where have I got it? Must be this one. Yes, when you flip it upside down, you have still got the number 2 referenced, but the T turns into the number 7, which gives us a reference to 27. As I said, that could be the 27th of any particular month, but we might have a reference to O as in 0 and 7 over here, so 2707, which will be the 27th of July. The other interpretation I am seeing in this here now is the 2, the 7, the 0, and the G turn into a 9, which would be the 27th of September. Now it's possible that the 27 and the 7 reference over here could also be relating to September, as on the Roman calendar September is the 7th month. So we could be looking at it in that way, a focus on September rather than July itself. But the warning for the 27th of July stands until it passes, so keep an eye out on that. So that's the first 27 right in the beginning of the video. After that, we're shown another 27, which I've also pointed out before, and it's with George Bush's hands as he's doing his tap dancing, which could be Morse code. You get the 10, you get the 10, and then very quickly you get the 7. So the 4 on this hand and the 3 on this hand gives us 7, accompanied with the 2 10s is 27. Now again, I don't know if that's the 27th of July, 27th of another month, but we're keeping watch. So far I've got the 27th of July and the 27th of September in interpretation. So that's the second 27. The third 27 can be found on the shark, with the shark's mouth making a number 2, and joining on from that, the tail making up the number 7, and then the other part of the tail makes another number 7. Now that could be again the 27th of July, or it could be the 27th of the 7th month on the Roman calendar, which would be September, so the 27th of September, not the 27th of July. Either way, keep an eye out on both of those dates. Let's continue. So that was the third one. The fourth one I think might actually be found here. I've pointed out before that this could be a backwards 2. I've also pointed out as a number 5, but just for the sake of this video and the number 27, I'm going to look at it as the number 2 backwards and the number 7 backwards, which is obviously a reference to the number 27. Now this little marking on the side here, this could just be an addition to make it look more eyebrow-like, or it could actually be a J or an L or even a slanted 1. Now if we're looking at it as an L, that would mostly connect us to December, with L being the 12th letter of the alphabet and December being the 12th month. But if it is a J, then it's possible it could be July 27th, in which case in 2 days time we'll be looking out for possibly this event over here, Donald Trump lying on his back. I don't think he's taking a rest or having a nap. I think it is associated with an assassination attempt, an unsuccessful attempt it will turn out to be, but that's what I'm seeing there. Obviously I think that event is key in sparking things off, because as I said before, Donald Trump has kind of positioned himself as the barrier against the waves, the last stable block in the Jenga tower, and if he's removed even temporarily, things could quickly escalate around the world with China and North Korea and Venezuela and Iran and Russia. So a lot to watch out for, especially if an event like that does happen. Bear in mind there is the technology deepfake, which, if you're not aware, basically enables people to create videos of themselves looking like other people. So someone can make a video looking like Donald Trump got shot while Donald Trump is perfectly comfortable in a bunker somewhere, and the world goes into chaos. So that's the fourth 27. The fifth 27 can be found in the hangman, which I have pointed out before. The X and the X in the eyes make the number 20, X and X being 10 and 10. And then the tongue could be IV, V, or a sideways number 7. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'll be looking at it as the sideways 7. So 27 there again, and above, even the bar that connects the hangman to the actual noose is in the shape of a number 7. Or again, the letter L, which points us to the 12th month. The 12th month is significant. There's perfectly clear references to LT3, which is L12, T20, and the number 3. L23, which is 1223. In my opinion, that's December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. I'll be making more videos around that time if nothing has happened to stop me from making a video around that time. Heavenly Father willing. But that's the 5th. I think it's the 5th one I pointed out, or maybe it's the 6th. Either way, you guys keep count, I'll just carry on. So we got a clear reference to number 27. Now, just for the sake of covering all interpretations with the number 27, it could be the 27th of July, it could be the 27th of the 7th month, but on the Roman calendar, so that will be September. But it could also just be 27 by itself, which would be 2 and 7. Now that could be the 2nd of July, but that's past, so it's not that. It could be the 7th of February, but that's also past, so it's not that. How about the 2 staying as the number 2 and the 7 representing the month? So instead of it being the 27th of July or the 27th of September, it would actually be the 2nd of the 7th month. Now, as that's passed in this month, July, that would only leave the Roman calendar interpretation for the 7th month, which would be September. So the 2nd of September, the second 9/11 on the 2nd of September. 9/11, break down the number 2 into 2 ones, and you've got the whole thing. Now, that's just an interpretation. I can't say that something is going to take place on that date, but this is all coming from the number 27, which so far we've seen 5 times in this video, all at the very beginning. I'm not going to go through the whole video, so rest assured, even though it's only 7 minutes, I don't like doing long videos because I myself have a short attention span, and when it's a lot of information that may not be familiar to some people, it can get boring, and I'll just be honest with myself. But hopefully this one's interesting enough for you guys to, you know, stick with. But either way, the next 27 is actually revealed on this character's head over here. I wonder if I can zoom in. I did before. Oh, that was on the gallery. So over here, there's 2 markings, then 1 and 1, making the number 2, and then upside down over here, there's the number 7. So I hope you guys can see that. It's just in that circle there. Upside down number 7, and 2 markings over here for number 2. So again, reference to 27, but they're separated and they're in 2 different formats. One appears to be in Roman numerals, and the other one appears to be in normal numerals. So is that telling us it's not the number 27 as a whole, but a separate 2 and 7 being the 2nd day in the 7th month? Since we've passed that in July, that can only leave the 7th month Roman calendar interpretation, which is the 2nd of September, which is the 9/11, the second 9/11 that we may be looking out for. Just interpretations, you guys. Always keep that in mind, no matter how convincing it may seem. I say that to myself as well, because, you know, I hope you guys can hear me. This is good information I'm giving, and I've got the video muted, but I hope it hasn't muted the audio for recording at the same time. I will find out very shortly. Down here, there's not really a reference to the number 27, but obviously we've got the L or the 7 on the ground just there. So again, that could be pointing us to the 7th month, but not on the Gregorian calendar, on the Roman calendar, which is in September. And then we've got the C reference, which brings us to the 3rd day in the 7th month, which would be after the 2nd day in the 7th month on the Roman calendar. Basically the 2nd of September and the 3rd of September, one day after the other. Perhaps on the 2nd we have multiple 9/11 events, including something happening to Donald Trump, and then the next day we have multiple 9/11 events, including the eruption of one or more volcanoes: Hawaii, Mediterranean, Kilauea, Mauna Loa, Stromboli, Mount Etna, La Cumbre Vieja, Yellowstone. Always keep an eye on that one. So it's all there, possibly following on one day after the other. And then I think I'll stop it here once I get outside the classroom, just with the Psalm 23, because again, we may not be looking at Psalm 23. We'll keep the Psalm and leave that by itself, but the numbers 23, if you see the way they've written it, the 2 actually looks like an upside down 7, and the 3, obviously either way you put it, will look like a number 3. But that would be 7/3, the 7th month on the Roman calendar, September, and the 3rd day, September the 3rd. So September 2nd, September 3rd. Please keep watch for any events like these that we've been talking about. That will be in a 2-day time span. I'm not sure if that would be a whole 2 days or if it would start late on the 2nd of September and continue into the 3rd. But either way, there then comes the interpretation from the Fool Me Once, taking all the letters, writing down their numerical counterparts, adding them together. Fool Me Once, 21, 9, 19. And then the 23rd of September, we have the Revelation 12 sign again. Well, it's not actually coming up again, but it's the anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign, 2-year anniversary. So that may be significant. Either way, you guys, this is just interpretations. I realize I have missed out the entire month of August in this video, but that was purposefully done. I've done plenty of videos on August, so I think that information stands by itself. But this new way of looking at the calendar, the Roman calendar, looking at the 7 as the 7th month on the Roman calendar, which is September and not July, may actually give us a better interpretation, and one that actually connects to 9/11, the second 9/11 being on the 2nd day of the 9th month, separately itself breaking down into 9/11. We've looked at that date in other years, but again, this is the year of the pig. We've seen that in the firework in this scene. I wonder if I can click straight on it, if it's going to let me at all. I don't think it is. Too many shifts. But you guys know the skeleton scene, the firework exploding behind. There we are. No, a little bit more, a little bit further back, a little bit more. There we go. Now, it's very hard to point out the pig without actually drawing the pig in, but you should hopefully see where these lots of open space appears between the firework explosions. There's actually a mosaic of the mouth, the 2 nostrils. Whoops. Double tap brings you back 10 seconds. The 2 nostrils just there, the eyes are just here, the ears are up here, done in the pink firework, so the right color for the pig, giving us that New Year's reference. So that's why we're keeping watching the Year of the Pig. At least that's why I'm keeping watching the Year of the Pig. After that, I will stop making these videos, I say to myself, and move on. It's been a long 2 years, a lot of research done, you know, a lot of topics that I never thought I'd be having to study have actually made their way into my life. Morse code, astrology, anagrams. It's been a long 2 years of looking at the world in code, deciphering Google Doodles and listening to phrases, watching phrases, and you know, there's gematria and there's all sorts of things that are going on. This world is a complex puzzle, and there's no one person that would be able to put all the pieces together, which is why we need the Heavenly Father. And the Heavenly Father has been doing his work sharing, spreading the knowledge amongst his people. And I think we've, as a unit, we've done some solid research, some solid work on this stuff. If it all comes to naught, I won't see that as a bad thing. It will mean that we haven't entered into World War III. There hasn't been nuclear war. There hasn't been major mega tsunamis and huge volcanic eruptions that have been destroyed entire islands. There would have been no stock market collapse. There would have been no large-scale death. And for someone like me, it makes me happy to think that that's not going to happen. But at the same time, I always have the Bible in my head, and I know that the Heavenly Father's words will come to pass. But I really hold on to that phrase in the Bible that even though we see all these things, the end is not yet. I feel like we'll all have very strong feelings of when that comes. At the moment, it's very worrisome and a lot of anxiety and anticipation, but I haven't felt in my heart that the world is about to go into that place where it will never come back from. But I do have a feeling that time is coming. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.